It is time. The third greatest planeswalker in all existence. The Mind Mage. The Memory Adept. Wielder of Mysteries. Jace Bellerin. I cannot explain how powerful Jace is. He can alter your very mind. He can create illusions to mess with you. He is the planeswalker who controls the blue mana. Blue mana in Magic the Gathering is the essence of water, wind, and your very mind. The reason why Jace is so powerful is because of his mind-altering powers. Not only can he mess with what you see, but he can erase your very identity. To put it bluntly, your memories are not your own. Jace owns your mind. That is how powerful he is. Take the homebrew monster known as the False Hydra, for example. Jace could take down a 7-headed False Hydra on his own. And he would not be affected by the False Hydra's song. He could see the False Hydra, and he could will it out of existence. That is basically Jace's power level. He could just simply will the False Hydra out of existence. He could erase its own memories. He could make its heads turn on each other, or just simply destroy it with a single thought. There's no limit to Jace's power. Except for one thing. His own mind. There have been plenty of times in the Magic the Gathering lore where Jace has either wiped his own memory or someone has wiped his memory. Jace has referred to these instances as mind death, where his memories have just been erased. So, let's go ahead and get started with Jace's build. We're going by the point buy system as always. Strength is going to be a modest 10 because Jace is not exactly weak, but he's not exactly strong. He's just basic. Dexterity is also going to be a 10. He's not exactly agile, but he's not clumsy either. Constitution is going to be a modest 12. We want to get at least a little bit of HP on Jace, just so he won't die. Intelligence is going to be our highest score at a 15. Wisdom is going to be next at 13. And Charisma is going to also be at a 13. Because he was able to swoon not only a Necromancer, but a freaking Medusa. Well, the Necromancer swooned him. He didn't actually swoon her. But Vraska, according to the mythos, Jace and Vraska got married right after the defeat of Nicobolus. Now, of course, Vraska still thought Jace had feelings for Liliana, but that's Liliana's fault. Liliana vanished, who cares? Jace and Vraska. Well, that sounds like a weird couple, but who really cares? That was an interesting couple. Someone who can mess with your mind versus someone who can mess with your physical form. That is an interesting couple. Alright, so let's go ahead and first get his race. We're going with the human variant. We'll go ahead and increase his intelligence and his charisma by 1. The skill, he's going to get persuasion. Languages, we're going to go with common and elvish. And the feat is going to be prodigy, because one of his cards is called Jace Bellerin Prodigy. We're going to get the skill of investigation. Tools, proficiency is going to be cartographer's tools. Language, there are a couple different languages you can do for Jace. You can do Sylvan or Sphinx, or you can do Draconic. You only get one language, though. The reason why I thought Sphinx was because in his lore, he was taught for a little while by a Sphinx, which is pretty good. So that's why I think Sphinx. But since this is Dungeons and Dragons, you could also do Draconic and have him be the apprentice or former apprentice of a dragon, like a sapphire dragon. That is up to you. Now, Prodigy also gives you a skill expertise of a skill that you have a proficiency on. We'll say he has expertise on Arcana, because we'll be getting Arcana later. So let's go ahead and increase our stats. We increased intelligence to a 16 and charisma to a 14. Background, I decided to go with a sage again. Now, usually I wouldn't double up on backgrounds for a party, but sage was the only one that made sense for Jace. You'll get Arcana, which we just got expertise for thanks to our Prodigy feat, and also get History. You also get 2 different languages of your choice. Choose whatever you think will fit for your campaign. The Specialist is going to be either a Researcher or a Scribe. You also get the feature of Researcher. If you do not know a certain piece of information, you know how to get that piece of information, which Jace explains in one of his cards. Characteristics. Once again, I went with the flavor text from the cards that are associated with Jace. Either he says it or it is said about him, but most of the time it's just going to be him saying it. So now we are going to tackle this line that is from Jace Bellerin's Prodigy. People's thoughts just come to me. Sometimes I don't know if it's them or me thinking. This is clearly why he started meddling with magic. This is a psionic talent that he was born with. So we will be going with a Sorcerer, level 1, to start off our Jace build. You'll get a 1d6 hit die. Your starting health is going to be 6 plus your Constitution modifier, which is going to be a modest 8 to start off. Not the best, but it works. At higher levels, you'll get a 1d6 plus your Constitution modifier per Sorcerer level. Proficiencies. Your weapon proficiencies are going to be daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows. Saving throws are going to be Constitution and Charisma. Skills, go ahead and grab Deception and Insight. You also get Spellcasting. Your modifier for your DC and your spell attack modifier is going to be Charisma. Now for your Origin, this is going to be an all Unearthed Arcana build. We're going to be using the Psionic Soul Origin because it gives you your psionic abilities, such as reading someone's mind. You get the Psionic Talent and the Psi Replenishment. For our next level, we'll grab a level in Wizard. You'll get a hit die of 1d6, and your extra hit points are going to be 1d6 plus your Constitution modifier. You also get Spellcasting for the Wizard. Your Spellcasting is for your Wizard spells are going to be using Intelligence. You also have your own spell book, which will come with 6 first level spells, and you also know 3 cantrips. Was it 3 cantrips? I believe so. You also have ritual casting. Even if you do not have a certain ritual, if you don't have a ritual prepared, you can still cast it as a ritual. And you also have Arcane Recovery. At level 2 Sorcerer, you get the Fount of Magic, so you now have your Sorcerer points, which you can use to get back some spell slots, or you can do something with them later. At level 2 Wizard, we get an Arcane Tradition, and I went with the Unearthed Arcana once more. We are going with Order of Scribes. This has to be the most powerful wizard tradition. I don't care who you are. The Order of Scribes is powerful. It matches Jace perfectly. You get a wizardly quill, which you can just summon at will. Well, technically as an action, but you get to summon yourself a quill. This magic quill lets you write out your spells without the need of ink. It produces its own ink. Not only that, but if you brush the feather along some of the text that you've written, it will erase it. And you also have the Awakened Spellbook. If you were to write a spell in this spellbook with your wizardly quill, it takes half the time, well, half as much gold and 2 hours less, if I remember correctly. Also, very important, if you happen to lose your spellbook or it gets stolen, don't worry. All you need is a blank spellbook. Just write a couple sigils on it with your wizardly quill, and all the spells from your spellbook will transfer over to the new one, and the old spellbook becomes empty. How amazing is that? That is so a Jace thing. Alright, going on to level 3, we're going to go Sorcerer. Grab the Meta Magic Quicken Spell on Twin Spell. This does not say that is limited to your Sorcerer spells, so you can use it on any of your Wizard spells. Not to mention, because of the Order of Scribes from the last level, you can change the damage type of any of your spells in your spellbook to match the damage type of one of your other wizard spells in that spellbook. So, say you have Magic Missile, and you use Magic Missile. You can change Magic Missile's force damage to fit Fireball, which is fire damage. So you have fiery missiles. That's pretty cool. But the important part is going to be dealing either the force or psychic damage for Jace. Maybe even bludgeoning damage. So take Fireball, for example. If you have Fireball, cast Fireball, but it will not deal fire damage. You can have it become cold damage. So Blizzard Sphere or something like that. Maybe even Mass Migraine. Or Brain Blast or something like that. At Wizard level 3, you really don't get anything. Now, at level 4 Sorcerer, go ahead and get your ability score improvement if you wish to get an ability score improvement. Increase your Constitution by 1 and increase your Intelligence by 1. Now, if you wanted to grab a feat, grab Warcaster. Warcaster is going to be very important for your spells. You have advantage on all Constitution saving throws you make to maintain concentration on a spell when you take damage. You can perform your somatic components of spells even when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands. And when a hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity attack from you, you can cast a spell rather than make an opportunity attack. But it has to cost 1 action and only target that creature, so no area of effect spells. Level 4 Wizard, just go ahead and increase your Intelligence to 18 and Charisma to 15 if you did not pick a feat. If you did pick a feat, however, increase your Constitution to a 13 and Intelligence to a 17, like we did previously. Level 5 Wizard doesn't get anything. Level 6 Wizard gets Master Scrivener. That is from your Order of Scribes. Level 7 Wizard gets nothing. But level 8 Wizard, this is where it's going to be fun. If you're just going with your ability score improvements, increase your Intelligence to its maximum, 20. Now, if you want to get a feat, go ahead and grab the Telepathic feat. This will increase your Intelligence. We'll go ahead and do Intelligence increase by 1. And you get to speak telepathically to any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. But it has to be in a language both of you know. And if your psionic talent die is available, you can cast Detect Thoughts, requiring no components. And when you start casting a spell, your psionic talent die decreases by 1 size. Your spellcasting ability for the spell is the ability increased by this feat. Level 9 Wizard doesn't get anything, but level 10 Wizard gets Manifest Mind. This is pretty cool. Basically, your spellbook's intelligence gets summoned as its own creature that can attack. Or you could cast spells from its point of origin. So say you wanted to cast Magic Missile. Instead of casting it from you, you can have it cast from wherever your manifested mind is. Which is pretty cool. Level 11 Wizard doesn't get anything. Level 12 Wizard will get an ability score improvement. Just go ahead and no matter what you have, increase your Constitution and your Wisdom to a 14. So we have 16 Wizard levels. We have a few options. Wizard level 14, but the Sorcerer level 16. Wizard level of 16 and keep Sorcerer at level 4. If we do that, we're going to grab the Tough feat. Warlock level 4 can be added on as well, so we can please those of you viewers who are going, what about the guild pack? go ahead and grab 4 levels of Warlock and grab the Tough Feat. If you do grab 4 levels of Warlock, go ahead and make it the Warlock of... I think the best one to go with in this situation would be, I guess, Celestial. Celestial would be kind of cool. And do Pact of... Go with Pact of the Tome. Get more spells that way. Another option is you can just do 14 levels of Wizard and grab 2 levels of Warlock. However, to make things simple, we are going with the first option. 14 levels of Wizard and 6 levels of Sorcerer. So, at 14th level Wizard, you get the feature One with the Word. If you die as a Scribe, you can be revived to 1 hit point. And then you roll 3d6. Whatever the result is, take an equal number of spell levels and erase them from your spell book. So say the result's a 9. Get rid of 9 levels worth of spells. These spells cannot be used by you ever again. Even if you were to read them from a scroll, nothing will happen. It is just not possible for you to use them anymore, as the only downside to this feature. The good news is, if you were to use a wish spell, you can recover 1 wish that was erased with this feature. Only 1. At level 6 Sorcerer, you get Psychic Strike from the Psionic Soul Sorcerer. This imbues your spells, your Sorcerer spells, with a little bit extra psychic damage, which is pretty cool. Now for your spells. At first level Sorcerer, you'll get some nifty spells. Just some 4 cantrips and 2 first level spells. At level 6 Sorcerer, you get a lot more spells. And we always are going to go with stuff that messes with the mind. But you're also going to need stuff to counter your opponent's attacks. So say the city's on fire. Use Shape Water to help put the fire out. Your opponent's about to attack you with their mighty sword. Use Blade Ward. Oh, your opponent happens to be a wizard that's casting Fireball. Counterspell. You've got a rioting mob? Use Mass Suggestion. Now, Wizard's going to be the fun part. You'll get 2 cantrips. No, 3 cantrips. And then 6 spells. But at level 14 Wizard, you have over 30 spells to work with. Now, you can see here at the bottom of the list, I have an option for you. 9th level spells. You can have 2 spells. Wish, definitely have, because you're going to need something to counteract one with the word. Now, there are 2 spells that you can also choose. Psychic Scream, which is pretty good psychic spell, or Weird, which is also a pretty good psychic spell, and it messes with your opponent. It's all up to you, and this is not considering all the spells you will find on your journey. These are all the spells that you get from your wizard features. Let's move on to equipment. Starting equipment, you get your basic stuff from your sorcerer class and from your sage background. For some recommendations, I recommend getting some extra empty books, some blank parchments, because thanks to the Scrivener, I forgot to mention this, the Scrivener lets you create powerful scrolls. Now you can do this whenever you want, but with the Wizardly Quill, you can write a spell into a scroll, and it becomes a higher spell level, which is overpowered. Really overpowered. I'd also recommend getting some ink and quills. That way you can write out some small scrolls, you can write out some dummy books, dummy spell books. Now for magic items, you're going to have a lot of different magic items to choose from. Cloak of Displacement makes a lot of sense because it's an illusion-based item. Excuse me. Mantle of Spell Resistance will help you against other foes that use spells. Robe of the Stars is just a pretty neat-looking spell, a neat-looking item. Robe of the Archmagi is also pretty good. Ring of Mind Shielding is a very good item to have. It will protect you from opposing psychic users. Staff of the Frost, Staff of Power, and Staff of the Magi are also really good items to have. Wand of Secrets and Wand of Wonder are also going to be very helpful for you. Now, there is one problem with this build. It is all Unearthed Arcana. I even threw a couple of spells in there that are from the Unearthed Arcana. This is not Adventure League legal, but there is a way to make it Adventure League legal. To convert into Adventures League legal, instead of Order of the Scribe, grab the Illusion tradition. An illusionist wizard fits Jace just as well as the Scribe does. For your Sorcerer origin, grab the Shadow Magic Sorcerer. This is the closest that you can get to Jace without going into Unearthed Arcana territory. But if you really wanted to, you can also go Draconic Bloodline and grab probably a white dragon. Or even a silver dragon. If the purple dragon or a sapphire dragon is a thing, go ahead and grab sapphire, because that will deal psychic damage. And also replace all the Unearthed Arcana spells that are in this list. I believe there are 2 in the list. Mind Thrust and Mind Sliver, I believe. Also, swap out the Telepathy feat for the Ritual Caster feat. This will give you even more spells to work with. Other than that, that's all the time I have for today. I do apologize for the late upload. Next time, we'll be going over a character suggested by one of our dear... one of my dear viewers. If you want your character idea to be featured in another video, make sure to leave a comment down below. I will read it, and I will respond to you. I'm not like most people, I will talk to you. Until next time, this has been Drayhan, and I will see you on Monday. For now, I am offline.